I am maybe 12, and he comes up to me and he said, "You're pretty good for a girl." Wait just a minute. I'm Rhonda Vincent, and this is my Bluegrass story. We're playing a kind of a talent afternoon for Lee Mace's Ozark Opry. There was a group called the Wooten Brothers, and they played, and we played. The mandolin player of the Wooten family comes up to me, and he said, "You're pretty good for a girl." I think he meant it as a compliment, but from that moment on, it was like, what do you mean I'm pretty good for a girl? I really took offense to that. He had no idea what he had inspired. That stayed with me all of my life since he said that. This is like my very first mandolin that I ever had. I started playing when I was 8 years old, Green Top, Missouri. We were playing at a country music show, and anybody who didn't play an instrument didn't get paid. I was just singing on the show. Dad said, "Here's the mandolin." He said, "Here's G, C, and D, and you're gonna be playing this every Saturday night for 2.5 hours. And so after a while, I got tired of just the 3 chords. And then we would have a jam at our house every night. There was a music party at the Vincent family every night. He would say, "Take it, Rhonda." And it's like, take it what? I don't know. So I started, listening to albums, slowing them down. This is back when we had the large vinyl albums. And I would slow it down to 16 and was learning Buck White's. So I started learning these licks. So when Dad said, "Take it, Rhonda," I would emulate one of these solos that I had learned. I think it signifies my beginnings and that legacy of my family. Bluegrass is in my heart because it was so ingrained in what we do and what we did. I was listening to Bill Monroe before, in my mother's womb. We were listening to bluegrass. They were playing the music from playing all the time, my dad picking me up from school every day. We played till dinner. After dinner, friends came over. We played till bedtime. And this was just it was just an everyday occurrence. So bluegrass is in every element of my being, I would say.
I've spent some time in the hills of old Kentucky. I've traveled south on down to Tennessee. Lonesome in Louisiana. I'm going back to you, 'cause you're the one I
horses, bourbon, and the great outdoors. That's Kentucky. Original, majestic, and wide open. In one day, visit legendary distilleries, explore horse country, or put on your hiking shoes and get out there. This is Kentucky. Come see for yourself. Plan your road trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan Tominski. My favorite magazine is Bluegrass Unlimited. It can be yours too.
Get your subscription to Bluegrass Unlimited, the monthly print publication of bluegrass music since 1966. Bluegrass Unlimited includes feature articles on bluegrass history and tradition, current artists and bands, and so much more. Subscribe today online at bluegrassunlimited.com. And if you subscribe today using code MyBluegrassStory, you'll save 15% of the regular subscription rate.
The Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, located in beautiful Owensboro, Kentucky, is your destination for bluegrass music. With interactive exhibits, you'll learn about the early innovators of the music, like Bill Monroe and Flatt & Scruggs, but you'll also discover the artists of today who are following in their footsteps. But that's just the beginning. Experience the music behind the exhibits by playing music in our pick-and parlor and by enjoying a live show in our beautiful theater. Appearing soon at the Hall of Fame, We Banjo 3 on March 18th, Rhonda Vincent on March 25th, Darren and Brooke Aldridge on April 23rd, Daly and Vincent on May 6th, and Dan Tominski on May 14th. Use the promo code on your screen to save on concert tickets at bluegrasshall.org. And when visiting the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, be sure to check out the exhibit highlighting the artists featured on the television show My Bluegrass Story. Plan your trip to Owensboro, Kentucky today and discover your bluegrass story. Learn more at bluegrasshall.org.
Well, I wanted to do my first solo project. I'm still playing with my family. I mean, this is well into my 30s, which is probably unheard of. Luckily, I ended up putting my own band together. My father did not take that well. He said, I can only have the family as my band. So that was really a rough patch and a very hard thing for him because he had raised me up to that point. Luckily, we had a festival once a year. So we had this reunion and we still did a few shows. So it wasn't like we weren't ever together again. As I talk to other people who've never been to festivals before, they don't really understand a lot of it. I love it because it is so natural for me. I mean, there's nothing like going to a bluegrass festival. I'm thrilled that I work with a band that share that same love. It's like we go play, we might play the Grand Ole Opry, we just might play the Ryman Auditorium, Performing Arts Centers, beautiful places. We played in Prague at one of the historic locations. But there is nothing like pulling up to a festival. You hear the banjos ringing, there's jam sessions, the stage shows going on. People are hustling and bustling, taking their lawn chairs and getting ready to hear the show. I was in the Wall Street Journal. So men in suits start coming to the shows and to the festivals. And I remember there's a couple that live in Washington, D.C. And she texts me afterwards and she goes, "We will not be attending any more of your shows that do not have flush toilets." So that's something that we grew up just automatic. It's like, it's not a big deal for us. But for someone who's never been to one before, that could be a big deal, I guess. But there's just a joy, a complete joy that my band and we are all unified in this wonderful love of the festival.
This was Song of the Year for us in 2004. She pulled out a mobile in the pouring rain, moving through the darkness like a hurricane. From southern Gulfport waters to the Cumberland Supreme, Louisville to Nashville and all points in between. Pounding out a rhythm, making up lost time, heading for that bluegrass state of mind. White smoke rolling, whistle blowing, listen to her engine keep on time. rolling, whistle blowing, listen to her engine keep on time. Kentucky borderline. Smoke rolling, whistle blowing, listen to her engine keep on time. Kentucky borderline, Kentucky borderline.
In the heart of bluegrass country, on the banks of the Ohio River, there's a place where healthcare is different, where it's woven into the very fabric of our local communities, where doctors practice more than medicine. They practice living. Here, everyone cares for the patient and treats them like a neighbor, because they are one. This place is called Owensboro Health, where a healthier community is what we do.
There's a city where a river of music flows, where you're invited to discover its deep roots in bluegrass music, and heritage and harmonies converge. It's a community that's just like the music it's home to, welcoming and authentic. This is Owensboro, Kentucky. This is the bluegrass music capital of the world.
On June 22nd to 25th, 2022, Romp Festival takes place in Owensboro, Kentucky. Produced by the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, Romp features 4 days of music, camping, jamming, and much more. Immerse yourself in bluegrass music by experiencing live performances from over 25 artists. Plan your trip to Romp Festival in Owensboro, Kentucky on June 22nd to 25th, 2022. More information about Romp can be found at rompfest.com.
I think the reason I'm in bluegrass music, I did the 2 country albums. That was like my musical college years. They tried like 100 shades of blush on my cheek. I learned about imaging. They said, you are wearing 3 sizes too big on your clothes. It was a wonderful time of learning about the business part of that. But it was at that point I came home and I said, what am I gonna do with my life? It's like, I just did this later, I think, instead of when you're coming out of high school to choose what you're gonna do. Here I am later on. That was my college years. And I put my first band together. You know, it's Rhonda, Alan, Joey, and Earl. That's how we got the Rage. Well, we did a few festivals. That seemed too easy. Playing these festivals, but I found I was never happier. It's like, this is so fun, and it's like, but this wouldn't be my career because I'm happy and it's too easy, right? Because that's what I love. I love doing this. And it's just like, then all of a sudden, I signed with Rhonda Records. I signed with an agency. And it's like being in the right place at the right time. With my first Rounder album in January of 2000, 2 things that are pivotal. The Wall Street Journal wrote a wonderful review of the album. They said, Rhonda Vincent, the new queen of bluegrass. It's like, wow. Didn't even know that they review music in the Wall Street Journal. And then I signed a sponsorship with Martha White. And finally, for the first time in my life, I'm at the right place at the right time. I won my very first of 7 consecutive, I guess, now 8, the IBMA Female Vocalist of the Year. So it was never this instantaneous, I'm this. So this is so natural. I was confused by it, actually. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I said, so this is what I'm gonna do with my life. I seriously, it was 10 years, it was 15 years into the Rage that I finally said, wow, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and I love every second of it. I brought a song that I wrote about my life with friends and family. It's an autobiography about my playing music and growing up, in a musical family and continuing to travel with friends, and it's called All American Bluegrass Girl.
Each day I greet the morning with the sounds of the radio. Lester Flatt was singing on that Martha White show. Big K on the banjo and Marty on the mandolin. I'm an all-American bluegrass girl and proud of where I've been. Bill might be from Kentucky, should be from Tennessee. Though I might be from Missouri, I'm as bluegrass as can be. What life of bluegrass music with friends and family. I'm an all-American bluegrass girl and proud as I can be. All my life they told me you're pretty good for a girl. Someday you'll play the opera just like Sonny, Bob, and Earl. I'm living dreams I never dreamed. Mom and Daddy, they taught me right to be an all-American bluegrass girl who's singing here tonight. Bill might be from Kentucky, Jimmy from Tennessee. Though I might be from Missouri, I'm as bluegrass as can be. Well, life of bluegrass music with friends and family. I'm an all-American bluegrass girl and proud as I can be. Yeah, I'm an all-American bluegrass girl and proud as I can be.
I was thinking about how awesome it was that I'm in the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, and I'm singing about Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs and Jimmy Martin and Bill Monroe and Martha White, and the wonderful correlation that it is that while we're here.
The Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, located in beautiful Owensboro, Kentucky, is your destination for bluegrass music. With interactive exhibits, you'll learn about the early innovators of the music, like Bill Monroe and Flatt and Scruggs. But you'll also discover the artists of today who are following in their footsteps. But that's just the beginning. Experience the music behind the exhibits by playing music in our pick-and parlor and by enjoying a live show in our beautiful theater. Appearing soon at the Hall of Fame, We Banjo 3 on March 18th, Rhonda Vincent on March 25th, Darren and Brooke Aldridge on April 23rd, Daly and Vincent on May 6th, and Dan Tominski on May 14th. Use the promo code on your screen to save on concert tickets at bluegrasshall.org. And when visiting the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, be sure to check out the exhibit highlighting the artists featured on the television show My Bluegrass Story. Plan your trip to Owensboro, Kentucky today and discover your bluegrass story. Learn more at bluegrasshall.org.
American Patriot Getaways has cabin rentals in Gatlinburg for any group size or budget. From a romantic studio for two to a 13-bedroom chalet, we can help you make memories any time of year. Break away from the everyday and take in the fresh mountain air from our cabin rentals in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Enjoy luxurious amenities like a steamy hot tub, exciting game room, breathtaking views, or even a private indoor pool. Find your favorite cabin rentals in Gatlinburg today.
When the photographer finished with the shoot and he called me, he goes, "I've got the shot." And he said, "I'm gonna send it to you." He sends it to me and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I knew it was gonna be titled All American Bluegrass Girl. So I brought red, white, and blue to wear. And the stylist went to the bus and looked and found this green, this lime green dress. And she says, "I want you to put this on and I want you to put it on with gold boots." I'm thinking, this is the oddest combination I've ever seen. The title is All American Bluegrass Girl, needs to be red, white, and blue, but I humored her. I put this green dress, it had fringe, I put these gold boots on, and I did this pose that they told me to do, sitting, ironically, but it was a lime green wall. It was in the entrance of a men's bathroom. I'm not sure where we go. I greet each day and see what's the next opportunity. Since being inducted into the Grand Ole Opry, most recently I've sang on a song with Dolly that's gonna be in a movie, a duet with Josh Turner, a duet with a mainstream artist by the name of Cody Johnson. Like a couple of days ago, I get a phone call from Gene Watson and we've done a couple of country albums, one with Gene Watson and one with Daryl Singletary. And Gene says, hey, would you sing another duet with me? And it's like, of course.
We loaded up our suitcase and down the road we went. Said goodbye to her family, time with them is heaven sent. Headed to another town, make another show. Rolling down the highway 'cause we're always on the go. We're raging life for you tonight. Let her go, Brent. Make that hound dog cry. We'll be leaving town tomorrow, but we're raging life tonight. We wake up in the morning and we start a brand new day. Try to wake up, honey, it's almost time to play. Rosin up your boat, it's time for one more set. Aaron pickle Sundays 5 just as fast as you can get. We're raging life for you tonight. Let her go, Josh, make them fingers fly. We'll be leaving town tomorrow, but we're raging life tonight.
Well, my father would be so proud, especially the pivotal moment of becoming a member of the Grand Ole Opry. That was a lifelong dream for him, you know, let alone seeing his children. And I mean, I'm getting chills because Darren and I, to hold separate Opry memberships, it's historical. It's the first time a brother and a sister have held separate memberships. So there's just so many things that I know, you know, he would just love this so much. It's an amazing thing to look back and say, because I'm not one to like, I did this. It's like, I'm still living this. So what can we do next? When you start thinking about it, it's pretty amazing, and I just thank the Lord. I'm so thankful.